Alright, so very popular League of Legends streamer Dantes has recently announced he's breaking up with his GF. Now, I wasn't even made aware that League of Legends players started dating. Don't know when that update dropped, but I missed it. Good for him for breaking the stereotype of League players being fat, degenerate losers who make women reconsider their own sexuality. There's a good chance you've seen this guy on your YouTube Shorts page. He posts a lot of clips of him saying incredibly out-of-pocket things on stream and repurposes them for shorts, and they get crazy views. Coincidentally, his biggest short that has 22 million views is actually one with his girlfriend in it, so...
Why does the dishwasher keep talking?
Women are not supposed to speak. I'm only here to cook and look presentable.
Guys, she's so much more than a dishwasher. She's my dishwasher, and I love her.
Thanks, Wallet.
Although in his statement regarding the breakup, he says he needs to focus on his own career and needs to put his ambitions first and can't handle a relationship right now. Ironically enough, that may have been the wrong choice if what he wants to do is grow his brand and career as an influencer, because I mean, the short with the chicken, it has the most views. But perhaps he already got all the content he needed out of her. Kidding, joking, put your pitchforks down. Before we get into anything, I would suggest many influencers keep their private relationships just that, private. Relationships are like one of the most complicated things on planet Earth. That's why you see people with seemingly perfect lives go through divorces, breakups, etc. And a lot of the internet seems to not be able to understand the nuance when they see their, favorite streamer break up with someone. There seems to be this, desperate need to make someone a good guy or a bad guy, when in a situation like this, you can genuinely see both sides and validate their perspectives and reasons for doing what they're doing. We're gonna read Dantes' statement in a second and then go through the timeline, but I want to say first things first, as an outsider, I realize I am an outsider, and obviously I'll have my own opinion on this, but it's actually insane to see the lack of self-awareness from people in the replies who, because they've seen a few Dantes streams and clips of him with his girl, now think that they're no longer outsiders, they're no longer internet strangers, that they're now omnipotent, genius beings who fully grasp their relationship dynamic. For those asking, yes, I am in a relationship with a man named Benjamin Franklin, not married to that money, bro. I've actually talked to Benjamin. I'm really trying to see if we can do an open relationship. I want to get Abe Lincoln and George Washington involved, and Andrew Jackson too, how could I forget? And whoever that guy on the $50 bill is. Fucking Default Jonesy? Yeah, we'll go with that. Y'all see they're trying to put Trump on the $500 bill? Everyone talking about we can go band for band, bro. We can go Trump for Trump. Most brain dead side tangent I've ever gone on. So he starts the statement with, Laura and I broke up. While I could sit here and try for hours to explain the reason why, it all comes down to one simple truth. I'm not ready for a relationship. From the get-go, I told her that my career would be my first priority. She always did everything she could to accommodate that fact, whether it would be bringing me food, supporting me after a bad day, encouraging me when I was down, or just being an ear that could listen to all my problems. She was, in all ways possible, everything I ever wanted. The problem is, however, that relationships are about compromise. Seeing her taking steps back in her own life and career in order to support me, while I was unwilling and unable to do the same for her, is just something that, over time, took its toll on me mentally. I just came to the realization that the very foundation of what relationships are wasn't something that I was able/willing to do, and as a result, made the decision to end things. I won't pretend that I know if I made the right choice or not. The only thing I can say is that I'm eternally grateful for the time and love that we shared. At the end of the day, I'd rather live regretting a choice that I did make than go through life always second-guessing myself. Going forward, I ask that you only show her nothing but support, since she is always the one who gave her all with understanding me and trying to work through everything. Thank you. Now, this has an astounding 80 million views, meaning the tweet reached a bunch of audiences who have no idea who he is and just read that tweet, and that's their first exposure to who Dantes is, and in some cases are writing incredibly trash replies that I'm of course gonna make fun of. But before we do that, leave a like on this video and subscribe if you're not yet already. We're so close to 500,000 subs. To all the men that don't subscribe, you'll begin to notice a pea-sized lump begin to grow on your right testicle in about 2 weeks. And to the women that don't subscribe, all 5 of you, you're just gonna go bald. So anyway, back to things. So in normal Twitter fashion, the only one thing that people have extrapolated from this post is that apparently he's leaving his girl to play League of Legends. We got a lot of people roasting him in League of Legends terms. You're inting, selling the game of life right now. Bro was on a 90-game win streak and decided to FF 115. Sounds like you wasted the poor girl's time. Well, that one I don't think is true, because now you're assigning some sort of malice to him being unsure about where he wants to be in life. Like, you don't think when he got into the relationship, he thought he was ready for a relationship? Like, sometimes you have to be in one to realize you're not ready to be in one. Oh my god, this guy wrote a paragraph. Dog, take her back, RN. You'll Come to find out, the dating pool is horrid. Finding someone who is willing to compromise is so rare. You're a successful streamer, man. Just take some time off to be with her a bit every now and then. Relationships are all about compromise. You don't have to get PTO approved or explain yourself to some prick boss who lives his career as his life. Man to man, I'm telling you, the worst thing you can do is fumble that, quote, one girl. And trust me, the pain of regret is the worst pain you will ever experience. It's slow burning and ever relenting. Dude, this, are you okay, bro? TTV precise? It will really start to hit you when you see her happy with a dude who is willing to compromise. Okay, so now we know what happened to bro. Dude got hit with the me or the PS5 and took PS5. Now the 8.5 he bagged by being funny and weird. Got a better looking guy who decided to maybe take her on a date instead of playing God of War. Don't fumble your second half, broski. Fight and suffer, that's what love's about. Not sunshine and rainbows. It's about compromise, putting the other person before yourself. The hard days are what love is all about, because even though they're hard, you wouldn't rather have anyone but that person next to you. Either way, your decision is your own and to be respected, hoping for you the very best, dude. So that one's a little schizo, but well-meaning. I'm seeing so many replies talking about like, bro, you left her for League, are you fucking retarded? And it's like, are you actually? Because I don't think you understand, it's not just League. He's like a multi-millionaire at the age of 22 years old, and is like a decent-sized e-celebrity making a fuckload of money from what a lot of people are minimizing as just a game. You're a loser who will never find true love, by the way. Hope you don't waste the next girl's time. This tweet is incoherent, so you're saying he'll never find true love, but you also hope he doesn't waste the next girl's time? The only way the next girl's time wouldn't be wasted is if he finds true love. Wait, you picked League over her? Are you fucking stupid? And it has 10,000 likes. Oh, because she's hot, so you're objectifying her. So if she was ugly, then you wouldn't make this tweet. That's basically what you're saying. Okay. Genius. Very genius Twitter insight. Hope you find someone more valuable than streaming. Is this phase fucking blaze? When you find out your goat is washed. Anyway, you might be wondering, what has Dantes' girlfriend said about any of this? Well, she went on stream and had this to say. Very emotional. It makes sense. I'm not here to judge her. Before I show it, people have been asking her about the tattoo of Dantes' name she has on her chest. Is she gonna get it removed? People are asking. She said no, and I personally don't think it really matters.
I felt like I wasn't getting hugged enough, like physical romance, like having hugs and getting hugs or like good morning kisses. And it was weird to me because I would always get them. Like before he would go to the gym, he would always like wait, give me a good morning kiss and then go. And I was, because of jet lag, I was awake, but I would not like turn around just to see what he would do, and he wouldn't do it anymore. So I was feeling a bit off. Or he would just go to bed after stream without asking me if I want to come with me. Because for people that watch me a bit longer, they know that sometimes Dantes would come to me and be like, yo, Laura, like, how long do you stream so we can do something? And he didn't do that. So I was feeling a bit off. So then yesterday, I am super crazy. I have super crazy outbursts. I scratch my arms open. I bang my head against the door. I make the most psycho thing ever. But yeah, he like accepted me for who I was.
I don't know where she's from. Pretty thick accent. I would assume, you know, Google's free. Let me just Google it. Half German Latina? Whatever. I just show this to show her response because Dantes typed out this long ass thing, and obviously it's only fair to see what she has to say. She is being incredibly vulnerable, and that's something that I cannot criticize at all. Like, I think when you're in a position like she is, you have to, you know, if you want to say anything, risk being emotional on camera and having people make fun of you and clip you. And that's actually what has happened, and Dantes has responded to people making fun of the very emotional state that him and his girlfriend are in right now. But before that, here's the rest of the clip.
I think right now I would say no. I would not get back together with him, but I'm really emotional. So if he comes back, I don't know. Maybe I'm still at a point where I'm too deeply in love with him, and then I do the same mistake over again. But it's okay. We're just humans. Everyone does mistakes, don't they?
I don't know how much of this I can read, but he goes absolutely batshit on someone who goes, "Wake up guys, new matching PFPs just dropped." And it's him looking emotional with his girl looking emotional. And I think very warranted, very understandable crash out from Dantes. I don't normally do this, but I think this is one of the rare cases that it is extremely warranted. Find a chair and make your parents smile for the first time in the last 20 years. You've been a failure your entire life. I hope only that you succeed this one time. I completely agree. Very understandable. You know, you got these fucking random anons on Twitter talking shit about you being like, "Oh, this is funny. Dude's going through a breakup," and it's like, yeah, I don't care. Yeah, fuck him. Go for him. Get him. That's something I would not recommend, okay? If someone's going through a breakup and you know about it, don't test them. You know, you will see them crash out on you. Now, besides this main breakup situation, and I guess in wake of it, there's been this huge beef going on between Dantes and this guy Tarzan. Now, this guy's also a decently popular League of Legends streamer. I'd never heard about him, probably because he's not as mainstream as Dantes and doesn't do YouTube shorts like he does. But in the midst of Dantes' breakup, he has produced this clip alleging some insane shit.
As you say, you want to own up and be a man. Finally, this is your time to be a man and like own up to everything. That's what your tweet said, right? 1 month into the relationship, Laura was pregnant with Dantes' child. And when she's at her most vulnerable, scared, anxious, he let her fly back to Germany to get in a while he stayed home in Stream League, basically, is a TLDR. And that is the nuke, basically. Just to show his character as a human being.
I don't know if they have beef behind the scenes or what, or honestly if that even matters, because to make this sort of an accusation slash allegation, or not even an allegation, right? Even if you know this is 100% true, to bring this up to get internet points is so deranged. It's so sick. I mean, I genuinely think this is one of the most evil things I've witnessed on the internet in like a while.
This Tarzan freak is going online and telling people private information that clearly was private for you to tell no one, and you've told the whole fucking internet. You talk about characters and how disgusting Doanal is, how Dance is disgusting. You're the disgusting one for actually even spilling some private information like that. You're vile.
Really, long story short, you cannot ever, it is unacceptable ever in any capacity, I do not care, ever make that public to anybody. That it is life-changing stuff that even today, if you ask Kayla, I bet Kayla still is just going through it. Like even after 2 months, we have a beautiful baby. We went through a pregnancy successfully. If you ask her, I bet she thinks about it.
Say things about me, right? But the fact that he decides to leak something like that as some kind of truth bomb. The fact that this disgusting fucking piece of shit sits there and talks in front of thousands of people, leaking probably the most traumatic thing that either of us has ever had to go through in front of thousands! When I didn't even talk about it to my closest friends!
Yeah, it's getting pretty messy. Anyway, he drops this written statement as well, saying, "I think it's time I clear up a misconception. A lot of people have been giving me a lot of hate over the last few days, and while I feel like some of it's warranted, there's one thing that I need to talk about. Ever since Tarzan came on his stream and accused me of sending Laura to Germany to get N, while I stayed back home and streamed, a lot of people have shit on me because of it. And while, if it was true, I'd understand your outrage, the fact of the matter is that it is an outright lie. Keep in mind, this is something I've never wanted to talk about, but in order to clear my name, in other words, it is something I am now forced to do. I won't go into too much detail about this since it's more Laura's place than it is mine to talk about this. However, I will, with her permission, give you a better idea of the timeline. We found out she was pregnant while we were in Korea around mid-late November. At the time, I was planning on hosting a tournament called the Dantes Invitational and was already working out the logistics of it. When I found out, we said we were going to go to Germany together once Korea was over so she could have the procedure done, and so that I could meet her family, and then we would fly back to Canada. I then started to book flights, lock in dates for the tournament, bring together all the people, and really set things in stone. Upon arrival in Germany, they said it was too early to get the procedure done, and that we would have to wait several weeks. By that point, our plane tickets to Canada that I had booked were uncancelable, and as a result, we flew back without having it done. My tournament was to start soon after the arrival in Canada, and we had gone through long discussions about what was to happen next. She told me that she understood that the tournament was a huge deal for me, and that she would have such a large support network back home that it would be manageable for her. I was conflicted. On one hand, I had made promises and organized an event that would encompass the entire entire NA streaming scene and serve as a highlight of entertainment for hundreds of thousands of people. On the other hand, I felt like I did have an obligation as her boyfriend to be by her side. Hearing her tell me that she would be okay with being in Berlin without me since she would still have her friends and family was the deciding factor for me. And while it was something that I later looked back on and that we both wish we could have handled differently because we didn't expect the magnitude of what was to come, that is only for two people on this planet to judge. Me and her, no one else. Even while she was in Germany, it wasn't like I was absent. Yes, I would do my streams and fulfill my obligations. However, whenever the night would cast its shadow over the day, we would spend them together even though we were thousands of miles apart. In-call talking, playing games, watching videos together for hours. One of my regrets is that we never managed to finish the Little Big Planet game that we almost completed because she didn't bring her controller with her to Canada, and she didn't want us to play the game while using a mouse. Even when I was casting the tournament, I had made a promise to myself that if I couldn't serve as a distraction to her privately, I would do it publicly. Yes, I wanted the event to succeed, but there was something I wanted much more than that, to make her smile. The jokes I would tell, the crazy stories I would recount, the performance that I put on, it was for her. Every time I would see her type something in my chat, it would fuel me with this unimaginable fire in my gut that made me want to surpass all my limits and entertain more than I ever had before. If you all want to judge me, then by all means, be my guest. I would only ask that you judge me for the man I actually am, and not by the words of a man with such little integrity that he would not only bring up the situation, but lie and twist the narrative to make things look infinitely worse than the reality would suggest. And while I was by no means the most impacted from the situation out of the both of us, it's not to say that it didn't change me. To all of you that used to watch me and wondered why for months after Korea, it seemed that my mental was always on a wire's edge and that I wasn't the same man you'd seen several months prior, you now have your answer. And if you thought that was insane, which I did too, this is batshit crazy, there's even more to get into. This guy Tarzan has a crazy hate boner for Dantes as he did a exposing stream, trying to expose him with other girls or something. This is insane and insanely long, so bear with me. Actually, here's what we'll do, because this is an entire new topic of discussion and one honestly worthy of its own video. I think what we'll do is perhaps get into this one in the next video. But that's only if you guys are interested to hear about this in the first place. I don't know how many of my fans are, at all interested in this topic. I personally like Dantes, and to see this entire thing go down is unfortunate, so if this would be something you guys are interested in coming back to, then let me know with a comment or by dropping a like on this video. Let's just say like 10,000 likes and I'll do the part 2. But in the meantime, I am wishing both of them the best, and it does seem like this Tarzan guy is like a total POS. I mean, I don't think you could sue him if you're Dantes, because, leaking something isn't against the law unless it's like, under an NDA or something. But goddamn, what a piece of garbage. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.